Hi again, I'm Renee. Welcome to Thrive Thursday. Now, on Thrive Thursday, we always focus on tools. And today we're looking at tools for grief, not to fix it, right? Tools sound like we're fixing something. Not to fix grief, but to support you with it. And not to rush healing either, but to support you with healing. So, one of the biggest fears that people have about grief is that if they let themselves feel it, it'll never stop. So, people will say that in my office all the time. I'm scared to cry because I'm scared I'll never stop crying, or I'm scared I'm going to totally melt down, break down, not be able to live my life. I'm scared that I will fall apart and never be able to be put back together. But avoiding grief is actually more problematic because it keeps it louder, it keeps it inside, and it makes it feel heavier. So we know this because of research around grief psychology, emotion focused therapy, and trauma informed care. So we're going to look at a few tools today. The first one is to name the loss. So grief needs language, right? So we might want to try that sort of naming piece. It helps with validating it, acknowledging it. It kind of helps our nervous system as well. So it may sound like acknowledging it. I'm grieving what I hoped for. Or I'm grieving the version of me, or I'm grieving the version of my life that existed before this happened. So naming the loss acknowledges it and validates it for our nervous system. Tool 2 is to help us manage it. So we call it containment. So we don't want to feel overwhelmed and flooded. So we can actually kind of schedule time to dip our toe into it and kind of release some of the overwhelm, or it's kind of like a valve, right? Release some of the tension or the heaviness, right? And people that have tried this that I work with actually find this really helpful, even if it kind of seems prescriptive or intentional or too, I don't know, kind of time time focused, right? So it's true that grief doesn't need to be felt all at once, and we actually wouldn't want to feel it all at once. Our nervous system likely wouldn't be able to handle that, especially if you're grieving something you were deeply connected with. But we can set aside time, moments, space to grieve. And then we can sort of contain it, get ourselves grounded, and kind of return to daily life as a way to manage its intensity. So containment kind of looks like you choose when you feel it. So you may say, I'm really going to allow myself to feel the feelings. So I have a half hour on Saturday before I need to get on with my day because I have some things I have to do. I am going to allow myself to feel the feelings. Some people think about what they're grieving. Some people look at pictures to remind them of what they're grieving. Some people journal. And then you would choose when you are going to experience that grief intentionally. Then you would set a time limit. And then you would do something to return to being more regulated and grounded afterwards. So some people will set aside a half hour or so to grieve. They will allow themselves to cry, feel it, do whatever they need to do, process it. And then maybe you plan to make a cup of tea, go for a walk, have a hot shower as a way to soothe your nervous system. So, this is a way to protect emotional regulation. Tool 3 is to hold grief and functioning together. So, you can feel grief and go to work. You can miss something and still move forward. You can carry loss and build a meaningful life. Sometimes we get into this belief that it's this or that, but we know with modern grief research that it's more normalizing to say that this is all happening at the same time, right? Outdated stage models of grief actually don't really explain our experience, and they were taken out of context when they were published or researched. We can talk about that maybe another time. Tool 4 is having some rituals. So simple rituals can help your brain integrate the loss. So writing a letter that you don't send, I've done that before, super helpful. Lighting a candle, quietly acknowledging someone, someone that I love that died, really appreciated nature. So I feel really close to them certain times of the year when I think about them and think that they would be enjoying the leaves on the trees changing, or enjoying the fresh air, or enjoying the sound of the river. And that is my time to kind of honor them and connect with them with positive memories, or laugh about things that happened, right? So rituals actually support meaning making, not finding meaning in their death. Like, why did they die? Sometimes it doesn't make any sense and it shouldn't have happened and it's not right, but supporting the meaning for us to carry them with us as we live around our grief or live within our grief. So it kind of supports us having some meaning or honoring them with legacy or these rituals. And the last tool for today is offering ourselves compassion when we are experiencing waves of grief. So when grief shows up, you can say to yourself in a compassionate way, of course this hurts. It mattered to me. And when we acknowledge it and we're compassionate with ourselves, it reduces the experience of secondary shame that sometimes people feel when they're grieving. So I encourage you to choose one tool if you are grieving a loss in your life, and see if you can experiment with it in the upcoming days to see if it helps you. So again, if this was helpful, please like it or share it with someone who may also find it helpful. And just a reminder, you don't have to rush your grief, right? It's okay to be grieving. You're allowed to carry it, and hopefully at some point you'll carry it a little more gently. Okay? Take good care. You got this, and I will see you next week.